One of the questions we hear quite often from retirees and pre-retirees is, what would actually happen to my home if something happened to me? It's a simple question, but many people aren't completely sure of the answer. Some assume their will takes care of everything. Others assume their children simply automatically inherit the property. And many assume the estate planning documents they signed years ago still work exactly the way they intended. Sometimes those assumptions are correct. Other times they're worth revisiting. Hi, I'm Kevin Kowalski with Richmond Brothers, and today I'd like to talk about some of the common ways a home may transfer to loved ones, why it's important to understand what would happen in your own situation. One reason this question comes up so often is because people hear stories about probate. Sometimes they've watched a family member go through the process, or they've heard friends talk about delays, paperwork while settling an estate. As a result, many people wonder whether their own home would eventually go through probate and what would it mean for their family. In simple terms, probate is a legal process used to settle an estate after someone passes away. Depending on how the property is owned and how an estate plan is structured, a home may or may not go through probate before ownership transfers to heirs. Because of that, many homeowners explore ways property may transfer outside of probate. Some use joint ownership arrangements, others incorporate trusts into their estate plans. Here in Michigan, many people eventually hear about something called a ladybird deed. Despite the unusual name, a ladybird deed is simply one of several tools that may allow property to transfer directly to beneficiaries while the owner maintains control of the property during their lifetime. One question we hear fairly often is, should I have a ladybird deed? And with many planning questions, the answer depends on the bigger picture. For some families, it may be a useful tool. For others, a trust or another approach may make more sense. Estate planning is rarely about finding one perfect document. It's about making sure all the pieces work together in a way that supports your goals. That's also why it's helpful to periodically review your estate plan. Family circumstances change, goals change, assets change. Even if no updates are needed, a review can provide confidence that your plans still reflect your wishes. At Richmond Brothers, we don't provide legal advice, but we regularly work with estate planning attorneys to help clients understand how their estate planning decisions fit their broader retirement and legacy plans. A simple question to ask yourself is this: is something happening to me tomorrow? Am I confident I know exactly how my home would transfer? If the answer is yes, that's great. If you're unsure, it may be worth revisiting your estate plan with your attorney and financial team. A little clarity today can help create confidence for you and your loved ones in the future. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Richmond Refreshers.